Hello! Today I wanted to make something a little different. A lot different. In 2022, I had a class at school where we were asked to make a monograph about mostly any subject, as long as the teacher approved it. My work, obviously, was about the use of Minecraft as an educational tool. I liked how the work turned out, so I thought I would edit it, mostly translate it from Spanish to English, and post it as a video. Since the popularization of video games, there was a negative stigma attached to them, but over the years it was possible to see how this branch of entertainment was expanding to begin to be not only a form of entertainment, but also an educational medium. Among all the video games, one stands out. The video game with the highest number of sales in history, Minecraft. This game, although it was not originally intended for education, was used for such media and even released a separate title for such function, Minecraft Education Edition. In this video, I will analyze whether the use of video games, specifically Minecraft, is beneficial for the educational environment, which is the hypothesis this paper begins with. Minecraft is the best-selling game in history, with approximately 238 million sales worldwide. The popular video game belongs to the sandbox category, which is characterized by giving the player total freedom over their actions, without any type of narrative or story they must follow, only the rules of the game world and what the player comes up with. The game was created by Marcus Notch Persson as a side project based on games like Dwarf Fortress and Dungeon Keeper. The first version of the game was published on May 17, 2009, but it continued to be updated over the years, being updated to this day. For this purpose, Persson founded the Mojang Company, which years later was bought, but not merged, by Microsoft, and years later would create Minecraft Education Edition. Minecraft Education Edition is a version of a popular game that aims to be a learning tool or virtual classroom that can be used by both teachers and students. The game was published in 2016 and includes new mechanics, such as the classroom mode, which allows the teachers to see their work that is done by their students. Due to the negative stigma that many people have about video games, claims that they turn players into violent people, or doubts about the health effects that spending hours in front of a screen can have, many studies have been carried out on the effects of video games on people. Studies such as Video Games and Violence, a review of the research line of the effects, by Santiago García Cernás, reach a conclusion that says that, more than being a cause of disorders, it can be interpreted as an indicator symptom of a condition that is going through the child, either in their family or school environment, and that eventually requires adult intervention. However, there are many other studies in this form of entertainment, and among them, many that analyze it as an educational medium. One of them is Educational Video Games as a Teaching Resource for the Teaching of the English Language, by Tania Beatriz Jimenez Bernal. This is an investigation that studied the influence of educational video games in the teaching of the English language. The result of this 120-page work led the author to the following conclusion. In summary, it can be evidenced that the use of educational video games in the teaching-learning process facilitated the understanding of the contents and the practice of the language skills for the students, and facilitates the transmission of the contents to the teacher. This happens because the educational video game is considered as a didactic resource that optimizes the teacher's time and provides spaces for active participation for the students. In addition, the educational video game uses the visual, auditory, and kinetic representation systems to transmit the 69 contents, and the results show that the students are motivated. As already mentioned, students tend to feel more motivated to study when they are presented with educational video games. But Minecraft is not just another video game for the students. Rather, it is the game with the highest number of sales in history, surpassing known games and classics like, for example, Tetris. Because of this, teachers could worry about the concentration or lack thereof in their class. However, again, there's a study called The Video Game as an Educational Resource, an approach between teachers' perception and the Minecraft video game as an educational resource, to encourage collaborative work in 4th grade students. Yamil Castellanos Monsalve, Yari Cecilia Castellanos Monsalve, Julio Vicente Salazar Velandia, and Wilson Casa Salgado, the authors, conclude that the Minecraft video game generates positive emotions in students, such as curiosity, motivation, dialogue, and trust, among others. Thus, accepting the challenge allows learning, since it leads to trying several times until the limitations are overcome. For this reason, when playing, you have the possibility of facing difficult things with greater motivation, creativity, and optimism. So, to a large extent, it helps students to face challenges and improve the strategies they use to deal with problems in a pleasant and beneficial way for all. This shows that, when used well, the game can be very useful for the educational field, especially when the tools for the teachers that Minecraft Education Edition has are used, such as the previously mentioned classroom mode, which allows the teacher to have more control over their activities and attitudes that their students have in this virtual space. Motivation is a factor that is talked about a lot when discussing disorders that fall between what is considered neurodiversity, such as attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD, since the disorder can affect the motivation of the people who suffer from it and difficulties performing simple tasks. In an educational setting, this can be very detrimental to a student, since not only are they dealing with the symptoms that often make things difficult, such as difficulty keeping track of time, making it hard to turn assignments on time, but they also have to deal with a lack of motivation, making it feel even harder to do what they are supposed to do. Since these symptoms can be ignored or classified as simply the person being lazy, it can be a somewhat overlooked topic in a school setting, making it even more difficult for people with ADHD to complete tasks, as they can count on very little to no help from their institutions. According to a work by Gómez Díaz Isabel C., Morán Alvarado Verónica, Pereda Moral Macarena, Pasos Moreno Eloísa, called ADHD and its relationship with motivation in the educational context. This work justifies the importance of new research that includes motivation as a primary factor in the academic performance of children with ADHD. The need for psychosocial interventions for the affected population and its immediate environment prioritize self-control strategies in students as an alternative and/or viable complement to psychotropic drugs. In addition, any type of intervention with children with ADHD must include not only an assessment of the cognitive components, but also of the psychosocial ones, such as the social environment, the type of verbal feedback they receive, type of tasks, promotion of necessary skills, establishment of rules, self-control, and social integration. The use of tools such as video games in education proved to be useful not only for students, but also for teachers. This is because, when using these tools, students tend to feel more motivated to study, which can lead to a higher level of attention and understanding, as well as providing teachers with a level of control that is not possible with other types of learning tools. In the outstanding case of the game Minecraft, this is further evidenced thanks to its popularity, which attracts the attention of students already familiar with the game, but also includes ways in which a teacher can better regulate the work of their students. In addition, thanks to the fact that the game falls into the sandbox category, students can present things created in the game as a visual and interactive support when making presentations. This is something that has actually already happened at the Luisa Huergo School in Buenos Aires during the year 2020 in the 3rd A class orientated in visual arts. During a presentation, a group of students took advantage of what is possible with this game to recreate the mosque and use it as a visual support in their presentation, which was uploaded to the school's social networks. In addition, the use of this media can help motivate students with ADHD, who may suffer a great lack of motivation when doing their homework, making it easier for them to keep their attention in class and keeping them interested. This was completely different to every video I made before, but I think it turned out fine. I love watching video essays, so I'm not really surprised I ended up making one, even if it's just a repurposed schoolwork. I leave all the bibliography in the description, but they're all in Spanish, so that might complicate things. Anyways, thanks for watching and I hope you enjoyed it. The drawing on the background is on my Instagram, so if leaving a like on this video isn't enough, you can leave a like in there as well. I post way more in there than I do in this channel, so you'll have way more content in there. And with that being said, bye bye!